The P. Diddy case, a.k.a. Puff Daddy. Why don't they call him Puff Daddy anymore? When did that change?
Oh, gosh. After he killed Biggie.
After he killed Allegedly? Allegedly?
Yes.
You always got to say allegedly. So
Allegedly.
So you don't get sued. Yeah. Biggie, and then he became Diddy. Fitting. We're catching up with the court cases. We did an episode on this previously to where we kind of went over some of the first day, but we want to kind of keep up with the case and give you guys highlights. So we're going to go through all the up-to-date updates that they do for the last couple of days and see what's interesting to talk about. So if you want to keep up with the case, but actually keep up with the case because it's not televised or anything, and you want to watch us do it and have a laugh, then welcome. We'll give our opinions and probably be wrong, but whatever, it's whatever.
There we go.
So last time I was looking at, they were talking to the LAPD officer that was there in the hotel whenever Diddy was dragging Cassie Ventura around by her hair and talking about some other dude that was there and the police report that they didn't make because there was no charges pressed.
Right.
And after the officer was there, they called another witness to the stand, Daniel Phillip, who testified in 2012 and 2013. He was managing a mail review. What is that? Review? What is that? I'm about to Google this and be surprised. Images. Can I trust this? Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, my.
Magic Mike.
Sometime around 2012, he received money from Cassie Ventura to sleep with her. And he said that Diddy Combs was present. Oh, no. So it says boss asked him to go to a hotel bachelorette party where he thought he was just going to do a little striptease. But when he arrived around midnight, Ventura was the only one standing in the doorway. And Diddy was in the chair. He was in the cuck chair. No. Oh, no. According to Phillip, it was her birthday and her husband wanted to do something special for her. So she asked me if I would mind rubbing baby oil on her and giving her a massage. No, not the baby oil. Things went from there. It went based on how comfortable it was, he testified. And she gave him a few $1,000s. And then even tip him at the end. Said the man sitting in the room was wearing a white robe and a hat and a bandana covering his face from the nose down. He immediately recognized the man's voice is seen. Diddy Combs. Everyone's giving me so much stuff. Like, God, dude, seen? It's Sean, Ken. It's like, that's seen.
Yeah.
That's seen. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They don't have like the little accent thing above the vowels or anything. That's just seen. It's just like Jacksepticeye when everyone figured out his real name and all the fans started calling him that and it was weird and awkward, Oh, Sean, oh. I was like, seen? Who's that?
Yeah, you seen?
But anyway, so the guy walks in the room rubbing baby oil on him and this dude masked up in the corner watching. Any voice identifies him. Ventura also told Phillip at the time her husband wasn't gay and wouldn't try to touch him.
That went out the window later.
He pleasured himself in the corner and gave him a couple extra $1,000 before he left. And then he also did it a few more times through 2013 and 2014. Said he'd meet in a hotel room and at either of their homes in New York. Oh, so he's a regular. I was just skimming through here and I was like laughing about the baby oil in my head because they'd use baby oil every time and the man would ask them to use more. But then down here it says, Phillips testified about one occasion where Ventura instructed him to urinate on her. And Combs was enjoying that.
Yeah, in the corner again.
And Phillips also testified that they were recorded on one or two occasions using a phone and a camcorder device, and that Combs photographed his driver's license as insurance, which he perceived as a threat.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, man, he even talks about her being on drugs and said to him one time that he don't think it's going to happen today as he testified and said Ventura was slumped over on the couch. Oof.
Yeah.
How many times does this go on? I thought it was like three times or something. But it's like he was paid between $700 and $6,000 with each encounter with Combs, but sometimes he wasn't paid at all. I was just excited that I was in his world and happy to be involved with people of such notoriety. I didn't care if I got paid one way or the other. So it talks about how he claims that he witnessed Combs drag Ventura by her hair in their house, and he was scared and asked why he didn't report the incident. And his thoughts were that this was someone with unlimited power, and chances are that even if I did go to the police, I might still end up losing my life. Okay.
Yeah. That's kind of a scary situation to be in.
Right. And so I guess they brought him to talk about that, to like support the hotel incident with the video of that they have of her being abused. Just a wild story either way. Good Lord. Then after that, they had Cassie take the stand. Ooh, boy. And she had some things to say for sure. She talks about the early stage of their relationship, and she was 19 at the time when she was signed to Bad Boy Records in 2006. And that she was really confused the first time Combs kissed her while celebrating her 21st birthday in Las Vegas. She described him as a fun guy who also happened to have his career in his have her career in his hands, saying he called all the shots while she was younger. Is that good? Like, I mean, that's just further kind of like the other allegations and stuff they have throughout there, to where it's like he's in a position of power, and so
yeah, he abused that the whole time.
She talks about allegations of abuse, where some of their arguments would be violent and result in some sort of physical abuse. He would smash my head in, knock me over, drag me, kick me, stomp me in the head if I was down. Said Combs experienced mood swings, and if she didn't answer the phone, he would call her incessantly and send staff to find her. So she'd pick up the phone. He's like, dang, blowing her phone up, sending people after her. And then she said that in the first years of their relationship, Combs proposed this sexual encounter that he called voyeurism, where he would watch her be in intercourse with another man, which shocked her. Says she didn't feel like she could refuse them, adding that Combs controlled a lot in her life, which also goes with the other witness, right?
Yeah.
She gives the description of freak-offs.
Uh-oh.
She said she was about 22 years old when Combs first asked her to have a freak-off, and she agreed because she wanted to make him happy. She'd stay awake for days at a time without sleep against her will, she testified, and Combs would decide when the encounters would end. Combs also directed every detail of the freak-off, and they often followed a similar pattern. She said that she felt like the freak-offs were the only time she could get with Combs. I felt disgusting. I was humiliated. I didn't have words to put together at the time how horrible I really felt, and I couldn't talk to anyone about it. She said she took drugs to disassociate from the experiences. Well, I mean, like a lot, like we're going through here, like you get into like cases, like domestic abuse cases, like they're like far more simple than this, to where, you know, I don't know, people on the internet be like, why didn't you just call the cops? Why didn't you just say anything? Why didn't you just do this and that and that and that? And it's like, well, if you're in the situation where this other person like has the power in your life, or like controls like your money and like all these other things, right, family and all that, and then it's like,
what do you do? And this probably went on for,
I don't know how long though. This was, shoot, they were together like like in 2006. It's what, 2025 now? God. She talks about the power dynamics though, like we were just kind of talking about, and so that Combs is very involved in her physical appearance and had specific instructions for Ventura's clothing and nails for freak-offs. She testified that if he disapproved of her, Combs' staff took away her belongings. She told the jury how, at times, Combs himself would urinate on her and demand an escort to do so. Ventura testified that she didn't want anyone to urinate on her, adding that she felt humiliated.
If you didn't like how she looked, staff would just go take her stuff.
Take her stuff. Now pee on her.
God, what the?
That's crazy.
That is nuts.
What the heck?
The dude literally is.
This is gross. Like,
it's just gross.
Like imagine like you're working like your retail job and your manager walks in like, hey, you sold any subscriptions today? No. Just peeing on you. Like,
take his wallet.
What are you, like, how old are you? What the heck?
Yeah.
She goes on to talk about how whenever they went to hotel rooms, they would use aliases, and that she was tasked with finding escorts. And he had like a bunch of physical requirements they needed to meet. And he wanted her to check if the person was a cop. And she also said that the escorts participated in freak-offs in multiple states, and sometimes she or a travel agent for Combs helped coordinate their travel, which I think that's like the sex trafficking charge, right?
Yeah,
Like, go state to state, all that. Yeah, and then she talks about the hotel alteration and that was called security camera. She said it started when she tried to leave the freak off before it was over. Combs hit her and she ran out as fast as she could, she testified. Well, dang.
And all this is happening, and Diddy, I'm sure, is just sitting there looking smug. You know what I mean? His whole family's there.
Most of his kids are there, like, to support him, and he's over there, like, they're over there telling the story about him.
Dude, imagine listening to that about your dad. Like, how do you feel? How do you feel just sitting there, just like...
I don't know. I mean, maybe, like, I doubt he had anything to do with raising them, but, like, did you do your homework? No, just peeing on him. Like, Dad, this is not how we do it. God. So they had Cassie up there for a couple of days. Like, she didn't have just like a one and done kind of thing. They kept her on the stand for a while. Just to summarize, talks about violent encounters with Combs, alleged that she was beaten after a party at a Los Angeles club, Combs security chasing her, when she attempted to escape in 2018, and which a 2018 encounter, which they Combs raped her in the living room. Ventura felt trapped, citing Combs' access to guns and past threats, and that Combs continued to threaten her after their relationship ended. And then she's seen him become physically violent with other people, and including some of his employees. She said she recounted a time when she saw Combs punch someone in the head. Ventura also described seeing Combs hold her friend over a balcony railing at a Los Angeles apartment early one morning. Just holding one of her friends over a balcony railing?
Like he's going to throw her off?
Gosh. Ventura later said an altercation with Combs led to the end of a 17-year-old friendship with her best friend in 2008. Well, I assume so. If you like threatened to throw them off a balcony, they're probably not going to come around and hang out with you anymore.
Yeah. We can't be cool if you hang out with this guy.
I mean, he was peeing on him, and that was weird, but then throw him off a balcony.
Why didn't you just pee off the balcony, man? You know?
And I don't know, like, the details in and out of their relationships. I'm sure, like, it was, like, kind of all over the place. But, like, the Kid Cudi relationship, that Combs lunged at her with a wine opener after learning she was dating rapper Kid Cudi during a freak-off in 2011. And Combs told Ventura that Kid Cudi's car would be blown up. She testified at some point, his car blew up.
Jeez.
Really? There was a reported incident where Diddy Combs accused of orchestrating a scheme to break into a person's home and later set their car on fire, according to federal prosecutors detained in a letter filed in the court. According to the New York Times, this incident was reported to have occurred around the same time Cassie Ventura admitted to keeping a burner phone while she was dating Kid Cudi to keep their relationship private. Well, the incident is described in the context of a scheme involving Combs. It is not explicitly confirmed that Kid Cudi's car was the target of the fire.
Okay, so...
I wonder when they're going to get him on the stand to ask him about that.
Dang. Well, you know the old saying, you know, like if you and another dude go after the same girl, then you beat him up, you know, now she dates you.
Right, yeah.
P. Diddy don't play that.
He just blows a car up. Pees on him.
He pees on the flames. Ah.
Oh, man.
There's going to be like, somehow this dude gets off. Again.
Well, so far it's just allegations, right? Like,
right.
They got to go through all this stuff. Like right now, it's just her on the stand saying, this is what he did. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, then obviously he's innocent until proven guilty.
Right? They got to prove it.
But she testifies that early on in their relationship that Combs' security personnel and driver saw him physically abuse her. In later years, she said assistants, including one named Mia, witnessed the abuse Ventura endured, and some assistants told her they quit after witnessing the violence. So if they go find them, there's like a statute of limitations and thing too. I think it played too, like after so many years.
It just doesn't count anymore?
Yeah. Well, I think that's the same thing with like the hotel thing. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know the details, but I remember like reading about that. Like, they can't press charges like for that because of how long it's been.
Oh, wow.
Because it's like 2000.
But they can use that to tell the story for everything else.
Yeah, it's like character, I would say character development stuff. But yeah, like setting up his character of being like a violent person. If they got all these different people that are saying like, oh yeah, you know. Yeah. Then it doesn't do anything at that time, but is definitely, the jury's going to go, well, he says he didn't do it, but we got this evidence and this history of violence, and yeah, allegedly. She talks about drug use. She was heavily dependent on opiates, and during their relationship, and she got professional hope 5 or 6 times. And the last time she did drugs was 2022 and no longer using narcotics.
Good for her.
And Ventura, she settled a $20 million settlement after filing a civil suit in November of 2023. So she had a civil suit, got $20 million. $20 million, that's nice, but that's still a long time to be.
Yeah. You probably still don't feel like that's justice.
Right, because he's still out there doing his thing, you know? Which is one of the things that the defense was bringing up during their opening statements, that people coming forward, they just want that money, you know?
Right, yeah.
She's already got hers. So now she's up there just like, hey.
Yeah.
Screw that dude. By the way, this artist, man. Got Diddy looking just like Giga Chad, strong jaw, and made Cassie fat. Rude. She testified that Combs frequently threatened releasing videos of the freak off, so she didn't behave how she wanted. And that was a big part of her relationship. Which was even before the case started, like people were talking about like him recording everything to have like evidence on people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still want to know who all attended these freak offs.
I seen something about Will Smith at some point is involved in some audio or something.
Really?
I mean, maybe, allegedly.
Ooh.
I don't know if that's real or not. We'll try to get to it and see. And that's just like the summary too. Like there's more details about when she's giving the testimony. Like she says in like August 2013, she was yelling at her friends while she was asleep, and then one of her friends jumped on him because he was trying to attack me. And when he did, he threw them down, and they hit their head on the side of the bed, and they had a huge gash and had to go get plastic surgery that day.
Jeez.
So it's just like fights, and they talk about like what's in text messages and stuff like that. Nothing too crazy, but just more things that just kind of support what we've already talked about. So after that, we get to the cross-examination, where the defense is going to go up and try to get a defense going. Try to poke some holes in some things, try to find a way to defend their client as best they can, to which they bring up the relationship and asked her if she was in love with Combs. And she testified that she was and believed that he loved her. And she said that she fell in love with Combs' real personality, the real personality, or what she thought was that.
Yeah.
They asked her about her desire to make him happy, and that included agreeing to the freak-offs, and she responded, there's a lot more to that. So her response was, it's not that simple.
Right.
So they showed the jury text messages between the two, and they're from 2009, to where she felt comfortable expressing her needs to Combs regarding the freak-offs. And the messages, she said that she needed to feel safe, be more openly sexual. However, in other messages, she told Combs that a recent freak-off left her feeling dirty and grimy, and noted her early intimacy felt different when they were so in love. And they also showed messages from March 2017, when she told Combs, I love our freak-offs when we both want it. And she testified that those were just words at that point. The defense tried to use these and other messages from the beginning of the relationship to characterize Ventura as a consenting adult, not a victim of coercion. And yeah, so there's like, you said you love, okay, so, which I understand why the defense has got to do that, but when you're like a power dynamic relationship like that, to where you don't want to make the other person mad so they don't abuse you.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
It seems like she may have a reason to be so agreeable.
Right. Well, I mean, obviously, because later on, she was less agreeable and got beat on.
And then, tried to leave.
In front of her friends even, like.
So it could, I don't know what they're going with that. Even if like in 2017, when she says she loved them, that means she loved all of them, because it says when we both want it.
Right.
I mean, how long have they been like doing this at this point? Like how many freak-offs has there been? Like,
right.
At some point you do get like indoctrinated into it, right? Is that even a word, indoctrinated? To where it's like your normal, like part of your life that she was accepting. So but also there's like the very strong bias. The Lady Justice is blind, but emotionally, screw that. Yeah, that sounds like some BS.
Well, I mean, also it's like with anything, right? Like even in a I would say normal or a regular relationship, with everyday people, not rich, power hungry music moguls. Like one no, and you still go through with it. Like it's horrendous. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Even if all these other times were agreed upon, you don't want it this time. You know what I mean? Like that's a big deal. That's a huge deal.
You don't blanket over consent.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And so like I feel like that's what that kind of was like. But you love them. Not all of them.
She goes on to talk about other relationships. She argued with Combs about his relationship with other women, particularly a woman named Gina in 2014, and testified that she had some jealousy towards Kim Porter, who shared 3 children with Combs, and that Combs was suspicious of her having relationships with other men, including celebrities, and said she took links to protect the rapper Kid Cudi from Combs. Right, the car, allegedly, him blowing the car up and all that,
Yeah.
So this whole time, he's got like kids with other women and everything, so he's just out there.
I suspect you of doing the same thing I'm doing.
How dare you?
Blow his car up.
Yeah. And then she's like, blow her car up. No, my kids are in there. All 3 of them.
Jeez.
She talked about how they were both doing a lot of drugs during the relationship, and she experienced severe side effects. And she said Combs was explosive at times when he'd find out she was doing drugs with her friends or took his drugs without him knowing. The defense attorney also asked a lengthy line of questioning to suggest Combs was reliant on opiates and any withdrawal from them would negatively affect his mood. What does that mean? This is like the short notes of that, but like just that sentence is like, is it her fault that he's blowing up because he's addicted and she's over there doing his drugs?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know she's heavily pregnant and could have a baby over the weekend. I was looking at some of the art earlier and I was like, why do they make her like so fat?
She's pregnant.
She's pregnant. Sorry. My apologies. Talked about Combs overdosing on painkillers in 2012. They had a freak off, went to a sex club before Combs went without her to a party at the Playboy Mansion. Later that night, she took him to the hospital where he learned to experience an overdose. And this is where like his dependency, right? So like the defense asked, he was extremely dependent on opiates, right? For a time, she said. He was very upset his opiates were taken away from him. I guess so.
Yeah. Playboy
Mansion. I bet some things. I've been there before.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Was that a freak off?
Nah, wasn't nobody there except for. There was like a couple of we did like a video game shoot thing. So like a couple of the girls were there. Mary was there. Don't worry.
Okay.
The help, the hired help was there.
Oh yeah.
It was nice. It's a lot smaller than you think it would be, but it was
really.
Yeah, it was cool. Kind of felt dirty at the same time though.
Hell yeah, I bet. They smell bad in there.
I didn't want to sit on the couches or anything. They brought up Michael B. Jordan and said that Diddy was suspicious they had a relationship. They didn't really expand on it. They just brought it up. Combs he's seen passing sticky notes to the lawyer while Ventura's testimony. He's over there like, no. Right, so after that, on the next day, they didn't bring Ventura back on the stand. They brought 2 other witnesses. I think it's Yazin Binda. I said that their background is that they're a Homeland Security Investigation Special Agent who works in the Human Trafficking Division at the department, and she handled the logistics for Combs' arrest on September 16th, 2024, and searched the room at the Park Hyatt where Combs was staying. And they talk about baby oil and lubricant. This is where the baby oil came from.
God.
Johnson's & Johnson's baby oil and Astroglide.
A mix. Just throw it in a Ziploc, you know what I mean? And just swish it around.
Yeah, both. Wow. I guess it's just the right consistency. The way they like it.
There you go.
But remember, the defense said that liking baby oil is not illegal. That's not a crime. They had like a bunch of photos of it, I guess, that they brought out. And they had medication. A bottle of medication was found in a Louis Vuitton bag in a nightstand in the bedroom. And the name of the bottle was Frank Black. And the label identified the medication as clonazepam. What's that? Clonazepam. And pink powder, testified as ketamine and MDMA.
Oh yeah, we looked up ketamine recently, didn't we?
What is it? Clonazepam.
That's like it's a benzo. It's kind of like off-brand.
Control seizures, panic attacks. Okay.
Klonopin. It's Klonopin.
Oh, off-label. It also helps with restless leg syndrome. Okay, so this is regular medicine. The way they word it, like, oh my God, is he drugging people with it?
Well, you take too much of that, and you can black out Like it's bad.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So a lot of it has like memory loss with it. Like you kind of wake up, you're like, I have no idea what happened yesterday.
Yeah.
You know? Oh.
Talk about $9,000 in cash was found in a fanny pack. Oh, the prosecutor had her pull out the cash that was in the fanny pack and fan it to the jury. Like, look at this money. And an evidence bag that they also showed them the drugs as well. Okay, they passed it around, let them look at it. They took photos of when they're searching the room. Yeah, showed the jury all this stuff. And on the cross-examination, she testified that a woman had been staying with Combs at the hotel. Okay. And the other witness they brought up was Dawn Richard, who is a former member of Danity Kane?
Danity Kane.
Music group formed by Combs as part of the MTV reality series Making the Band.
Making the Band.
Oh, I remember watching that back in the day. But Dawn Richard testified that she saw Combs attack Ventura in 2009. Said Combs came to the kitchen where they both were and tried to hit Ventura with a skillet.
Dang.
After the altercation, Combs dragged Ventura by her hair upstairs. Richard said she heard glass breaking and yelling. And she didn't report the abuse because she was afraid and was scared to do anything in fear of what might happen to her. Her quote was, scared to do anything in fear of what that might mean for me too. The next day, Richard said Combs asked her and another woman to come to his house where he told them what they witnessed was passion and what lovers do, and told them it was in their best interest if they didn't say anything. That's what lovers do.
God, that's true love right there.
Attack him with a skillet.
Yeah.
Drag him upstairs.
Jeez.
Pee on him. You know, this is what we do.
Break a vase over their head.
Jeez.
True love.
Dawn Richard had more to say. That she told Combs to leave after witnessing the violent behavior, and that she did not intervene out of fear for her own safety. So Richard also testified that she didn't immediately talk about the allegations because Combs and was that Harv Pierre?
Harv, yeah.
Harv Pierre, the former president of Bad Boy Records, told her not to. And what made her speak out, she pointed at Ventura. So who is Pierre?
So, yeah, he's gonna be one of the guys who was an action man, you know what I mean? Like Combs needed something. Harv was gonna be
Harv would get it done?
Yeah, Harv would get it done.
Gotcha.
Allegedly.
She talks about witnessing Combs taking drugs, weed, ketamine, cocaine. She didn't see him take any opiates. Opiate. I can't even say it. She didn't see him take the other things they were talking about the whole time. She also testified that she saw Cassie Ventura at different times with injuries on her face, arms, and legs after Combs was violent towards his former girlfriend, and Ventura attempted to cover the injuries with clothing, makeup, and sunglasses. So you just see her from time to time and she'd be a black eye or something.
Wow.
Gosh. After that, they call up Carrie Morgan, a friend of Ventura from 2001, 2018. Oh, this is the one that they weren't friends anymore. Yeah. They were friends for 17 years, but don't speak because in 2008, Ventura's boyfriend assaulted me, later specifying that boyfriend was Combs. So she's the one maybe allegedly getting dangled over the edge of the
balcony.
the balcony.
Jeez.
But Morgan testified that she saw Combs get physical violence with Ventura on 2 occasions and that he assaulted her. Combs said that he sent her money and she signed an NDA. Morgan testified Combs was not intoxicated or high during these times. So he paid her off, made her sign an NDA. Okay.
Wow.
This is an NDA. You can't report the crimes because I'll sue you.
I'll sue you.
Okay.
For more money than I just gave you.
Morgan testified that she encouraged Ventura to speak with the police after the hotel incident in 2016, and that she never called law enforcement because Ventura didn't want her to. And then backs up the thing of Ventura couldn't leave Combs because he controlled everything. And later on would testify that Combs controlled Ventura's job, her car, her apartment. He controlled everything. She would have lost all of her livelihood. But in a previous thing, when Cassie was giving her statements, she did mention that she would give all the $20 million that she got from the lawsuit. She'd give all that back. You know, if she didn't have to deal with what she had to deal with during all that time anyway. And they also got David James, a former assistant to Combs. And he said he was with Combs every day he was working, traveling around the world with him. And that James testified that Combs' security staffers often told him to stay in his lane, especially if he was asking too many questions. But he recalled a conversation with Ventura where she said to him, "Man, this lifestyle is crazy." He said he agreed and suggested she leave, he testified. I can't get out," Ventura told him. According to James, she told him Combs controlled her music career, paid for her apartment, gave her allowances, James testified. And they're going to bring him back again apparently later on. So, yeah, he's kind of the same story, right?
Yeah, that's the guy who had a lot of evidence. This man has a lot of evidence.
But he goes on to say that he never personally saw violence. And he was the assistant from 2007 to 2009, and he did not personally observe any physical violence between the pair. He goes on to say that he was in charge of like buying and stocking supplies for Combs, like the baby oil, condoms, and Astroglide. He was instructed not to submit these items for reimbursement to the company because they were items he didn't want to have a record for. We
don't need the receipt for that, man. We're good.
He talked about that he did see that Combs did drugs. He saw him do drugs, and he also procured them from Combs and his friends, and that he subjected to a lie detector test and searches. So Combs, his bracelet was missing. Security searched him on 2 different occasions. When something went missing, they would search him and then make him take a lie detector test. Oh, he talks about the Suge Knight confrontation. Let's see. The first time James felt like he was in danger as Combs' assistant was when he went with Combs' security guard to a dinner to get food for Combs and the staff. Upon arrival, the pair ran to Combs' rival, Suge Knight, and approached him. So they ran to him, and then when they returned back to the house, the music mogul ordered James to drive him and his security guard back to the diner to look for Suge Knight, while Combs sat in the back seat with three handguns in his lap. When they got back to the diner, Knight was gone. Shortly after the incident, James gave his notice and said that he left Combs' company. After that, he was like, you know what? After we had to go find him and the dude had 3 handguns in his lap, I was like, I think it's time to hand in my resignation.
Yeah.
I think it's a little too dangerous for me there, buddy. I'm all cool with getting you drugs and baby oil, but yeah, that's it. Oh, they also talked to Regina Ventura, Cassie's mother. She met Combs in 2006. They started dating. She'd see her daughter less and less, like 3 or 4 times a year. Emails about a sex tape threat. Her daughter emailed her another one of Combs' employees under an alias to say Combs was threatening to release explicit sex tapes of her. And she said, I did not understand a lot of it. The sex tapes threw me. I did not know the other person, but knew that he was going to try to hurt my daughter. She said around the same time their daughter reached out, Combs reached out to the mom asking for $20,000 of recoup money he had spent on Cassie. So he just wanted, I guess they're having a fight. It's like, I need my money back. He was angry that her daughter was now in a relationship with Kid Cudi. The only way Regina Ventura and her husband could get the money was to take a home equity loan, she testified, and she wired the money to the bad boy account. 5 days later, the money was returned to her account. So they took out a loan, there's a trail for that.
Oh, yeah.
So Regina Ventura took photos of her daughter in 2011 after Combs had allegedly assaulted her. And she said that she was bruised, and I wanted to make sure that we memorialized it. It's like, oh, yeah. We're getting proof of that. And then Sheree Hayes, a male escort. They interviewed this person who's now 51. They met him in 2012 when he worked as an exotic dancer. Got a call from Ventura, which she said earlier that was her job to organize this kind of stuff under an alias. When he arrived, her and her husband liked to create a sexy scene involving applications of baby oil, and her husband eventually would come out to watch. During the encounter, her husband gave subtle directions. Before the encounter, he was given $800, and afterwards he was given an additional $1,200, and he didn't know that it was Combs. They had 8 to 12 interactions. Eventually, on another occasion, when he joined the couple at a hotel, the TV welcoming Mr. Scene Combs, he testified it was. Eventually, another occasion when he joined the couple at a hotel, there was a TV welcoming Mr. Scene Combs. It was the time that he realized Ventura's husband was Combs. He testified he joined the couple for similar interactions 8 to 12 times. Oh, yeah. So that's another one. Like the other one, they just have people coming over all the time.
Yeah.
Getting the baby oil going on. So they got the cross-examination where the defense asked some questions, which he claimed there was no sense of discomfort from Ventura. He didn't get any clues as to any discomfort or what's going on. never saw any filming or violence, and that he never got drugs from either one of them. They'd offer him alcohol and marijuana, but he never saw Combs take any drugs or to appear to be intoxicated. He said during his last session in 2016, when he failed to perform, he was never called back. But he testified that Ventura paid him and thanked him for his discretion and their interactions. He goes to tell us he would have to take have to pop the pills, pick some Viagra or something before he got there because like this is weird, but get paid. They talked to Gerard Gannon, special agent with Homeland Security Investigations, in the 2024 raid at the Miami Beach home. This is that when everybody saw on the news and it was like, oh my gosh, it's going down. They were assigned to this unit because it was tied to a human trafficking investigation. Between 80 and 90 law enforcement agents participated in the search because of the size of the property. It required a special response team to deal with the security measures like armed security guards. That's like a GTA level or something? Like,
right. You gotta hit the Combs estate.
Yeah, right. The security guards just come out shooting at you, you know. They got an AR-15 parts in Combs' main bedroom. It's in the closet. High heels, sex toys, baby oil, personal lubricant, and lingerie in the upper row. Receivers for the AR-15, which parts of the weapon were all found. Oh, apparently the parts they found. Let's see. The very typically AR-15s manufactured as semi-automatic weapons don't have a full automatic indicator like this. So I got a switch on it. You can turn it fully auto.
Nice.
Fully auto. All right. Well, that's it for the catch-up so far. They're currently doing the following day right now while we're recording this, and we'll get on that later. But yeah, golly. We went through like the documentation of like a lot of the evidence and stuff they had, like that involved other allegations, other people.
Yeah.
And that was all crazy in itself. And then this is like, God.
That's just on the way. On the way. This is gonna get crazy. We gotta keep following this.
I mean, I want to see who else they get out there. They like Justin Bieber made a statement, I think, too, talking about how like he said that nothing happened to him. And all the comments are like, he's scared.
Yeah.
until Diddy is either dead or locked away forever. He ain't
gonna say nothing, bro. Like, yeah. Imagine he gets off of this and he's like, "What'd you say, by the way, Bieber?"
Yeah. Apparently, I don't. There's so many different things popping up. I don't know, like really what's real and what's not. There's like something about audio from Will Smith. I don't know if that's real or not. There's something about Usher.
Oh yeah, I heard something about Usher.
Yeah.
And then there's Jay-Z. Something somewhere, possibly, allegedly. I don't know.
I don't know if any of that is actually making it into any of the court stuff. It's just because I said that earlier, talking about like, oh, Will Smith audio, right? But that's like, I feel like everyone's on the same boat. Everyone's like, all right, throw Diddy away. He's done.
Yeah.
There ain't no way that by the end of this, we're going to be like, oh, maybe he wasn't so bad after all. You know?
Yeah.
There's no way. What everybody wants to know is who else is tangled up in the web.
And needs to be thrown away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is probably like in reality, and we'll never know, but I bet there's a lot of people out there struggling right now.
I hope we catch them all.
All right. That's it for this. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If today's your birthday, happy birthday. So, Toast my friends, love you. See you next time. Bye-bye. Pokemon. Gotta catch them all.
Gotta catch them
all 150 Pokemon.